I think it's about time that I finally attempt a base game only build. And over the last year, we've gotten a lot of free updates and a ton of those login reward events. So there's actually a fair bit of new content in the base game. I'm gonna build on this lot in Oasis Springs. All of the homes in this area are pretty Spanish inspired, but I actually don't know what vibe I wanna go for yet. I like the idea of having a bunch of little bump outs. I think that that would be really cute and it makes the house a little bit more interesting to look at. And I have built this so close to the front of the lot. Let me scoot that back a little. I also might put it up on a pretty big foundation. Okay, I need to figure out how I'm gonna roof this thing. I can't tell if it's weird that the two roofs don't line up. I actually think it's kind of interesting to look at from the front. And then maybe on this front piece, we can get some kind of tall little gabled roof. Maybe we could even curve it ever so slightly. Nothing crazy. I don't want it to be like too whimsical or anything. Now that I'm staring at it, I do think that this side needs a little chimney. Oh, that's much better. For all these little bump out sections, I would normally just grab a half gabled roof, but I think I'm gonna do the half hipped roof instead. And maybe I'll give that a little curve too. Okay, that's interesting. You know what? I actually really like how this looks. I think it's a lot going on, especially when you look at it from the sides, but I don't mind that. For a front door, I already know that I want the birthday front door. Same goes for the windows. I already know that I'm gonna want these little guys. I guess I maybe shouldn't get too window happy because I haven't even done the floor plan yet. Although looking at this from the back, I think we actually need to add some kind of bump out back here as well. Maybe something like that is nice. It's nothing crazy. This actually works out perfect because now I can add some kind of little back patio right here. Maybe I'll do a fun little like roof pergola thing using fences back here. But first things first, I think I need to get a floor plan figured out. This is kind of an oddly shaped house, but I actually prefer that to a regular rectangle. Let's figure the upstairs out first. I have a sneaking suspicion that if I try and open up the floor around the stairs to make like a little look down area, all of these roofs are gonna start clipping so bad. I'm actually not even gonna try because I know in my heart it's gonna fail me, so I think I'm just gonna go straight in. Okay, I actually think that this came together like so quick and easy that I'm almost like skeptical. So for the upstairs, we've got a big primary suite with an ensuite bathroom, a little bedroom here, another bedroom, a big hall bathroom, and then another bedroom. So it's a 4-bed, 2-bath. And then down here, I'm actually a little less sure about what's happening down here, but I kind of want to put the kitchen in this little back room. And then this can be the big living space. And then down here, we could have like a formal dining room. And then maybe what we could do is get a couple really big sliding doors right here that lead out to the back patio. Okay, I like this actually. This came together way easier than I thought. So now I just have to fill in some of the rest of the windows. I'm starting to think that maybe up here in this top room, we could actually do like an office. And if that's the case, I think it'd be nice to get some of these really big windows up here. They let in a lot of light. I think that'd be really pretty. I do think I'm going a little crazy with the windows, but I kind of like it. I think it's fun. I know that I've put literally no wallpaper up, but I actually love this house so much. I love how many windows there are. It's so like bright and open. I do feel like we need something up here. I'm a little terrified. What I wouldn't give for just like a normal round little window. Ugh, it is what it is. Okay, I do need to pick out some columns, and I know that I always use these happy birthday columns, but the reason for that is because they're the best. They look so good. They look so sleek. So I fear that I'm gonna do it again. I know I mentioned wanting to possibly do a little fence detail thing up here. Oh, insufficient funds. Oh Lord. Okay, let's try that again. Doing this process is so time consuming, but it is worth it. And then maybe we could get some kind of trim. I absolutely love the way that this looks. It never fails. Now thinking about stairs, I might want to try like a brick. That's pretty. It's basic. Okay, I've put it off for as long as possible. I have to pick a wallpaper for the exterior of this home. I have to. This to me is actually the hardest part about doing a base game only build, because the siding and paneling options, like what is this? We've got like 9 options. I think that I want to do these little bump out areas with some kind of stone accent. What kind of stone? I don't know. I guess this brick isn't too bad. I like the light color. It's almost like a light gray. See, that looks nice. And then maybe we get some kind of siding to go with it. What if we did this like really light blue color? See, to me, that's at least just a little bit more interesting to look at. I actually like the contrast a lot. For the roof, I think I'll probably just go for something basic. What if I did 2 different roof styles? So like on the first floor, all these little pieces are a metal roof, and then up here, it's the shingles. I think that it might be kind of weird. It's kind of interesting though. All right, let's start adding some details. We need to get some kind of chimney up in here. Again, to do that, I'm just going to delete the floor because there was a little half wall down in there, and then I'll just grab this little guy and raise it up ever so slightly. And then we've got to change this half wall trim. There, okay. You know what, you guys? This exterior came together way better than I thought it would. It's a little bit of a weird house, but I think it's kind of fun that way. Let's take a look at some wall details. Oh, okay. We have literally 10 options. I guess when in doubt, just go for some flower boxes. Ooh, I'm just putting these things absolutely everywhere. Did I do maybe a little too much? Maybe I will delete these on this wall. Maybe I'll even delete these as well. Okay, I think that that's a little better. It's a little bit more realistic this way. I wish that we had some different corbels, but these are what we're working with. I guess we can do this little vent thing as well. I don't know if I really love it, but I like that it adds something else to look at. I guess it's kind of realistic. Okay, let's take a pause on the exterior, and why don't we head inside? I'm actually really not concerned about the flooring whatsoever. I was initially gonna go for a really light hardwood, but I'm actually kind of loving this one. I like the detail in it. I like the tone of it. I just realized that we don't actually have a bathroom downstairs, so I think what I'm gonna do is sneak one in right here. Or maybe I should put one on this side. I don't mind that actually. I know it's got 2 windows in there, which is maybe a lot, and I kind of like that it's tucked off to the side a little bit. This is definitely a really bizarre shaped living room, so I'm gonna have to get super creative about things like where the TV goes. Let's start with the dining room. We could kind of keep the light blue theme that we've got going on outside and bring that in here. The thing about the base game that's hardest to me is things like rugs, things like art. There are not that many options, and it feels like the options we have, we've seen done 1,000 times, so it's hard to make things feel really fresh. Really, I think that if they did a swatch update for a lot of these, we'd be set. Because a lot of this stuff isn't totally ugly, it's just that the swatches are from a different era. Things like this chair. I actually don't mind this chair. I like the shape of it. I think the legs look really good. But then you look at the swatches and it's like red, bright blue, bright pink. I think this chair ends up looking so much better. I do think it'd be kind of nice to have a fireplace in here. And now that we got this really fancy one from the Happy Birthday update, it like matches perfectly. Maybe on this wall here, I can find some kind of like china hutch or something really pretty. Something like this actually isn't too bad. I think the trick is to definitely stick with what we know. I love these curtains. I love how it looks like they have 2 different panels. I think that's really realistic. So I'm gonna do those. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then maybe on these little windows, I can do these Roman shades. Although these look pretty good, I won't lie. I've got a little table right here by the door. I also know that lighting is gonna be hard because I find lighting hard even with all my packs installed. Maybe in this corner we can get some nice big chair or something. This little hanging light isn't too bad over the dining table. I do think that we need some kind of flower or something to go right in the center. Something like that is nice. Maybe above the fireplace we do a little mirror instead of an art piece. I'm gonna look at wall decor. I just used this for the first time in my little style filter challenge, and it's actually a really pretty little art piece. And when in doubt, I need to start adding these little light switches into my builds. I'm gonna get these little fire tools. With that, I think that this little room might be done. Let's scoot now to the kitchen. I'm kind of dying to do this part. Obviously, we have to use the new base game counters. I kind of want to use the swatch that has the dark marble on top. I would normally use the white, but I'm thinking maybe we can switch it up a little. Obviously, I'm going to grab the nicest stainless steel appliances. I put one of the tall cabinets right here. I think that looks nice. And I'm not using too many of the upper cabinets, so I think that I might do my own little custom shelving. The lighting in here is so weird. I do not know what to do about it. Let's try and find a really nice tile. I am inclined to use the one that we got in the update. Maybe it's a little too much. You know what I think the issue is? I actually think I do want to use the counters that have the white on top. I think the dark was just throwing me off a little bit, and I like all the really pretty silver accents. Yeah, that's better. Let's use the hexagon tile. Now let's do our very best to clutter. Oh, we just got this little trio of spices. Definitely gonna want a fruit bowl. I'm gonna grab this little fern because I know I want this somewhere. I just don't know where yet. Oh, we should definitely get these little wine bottles. Gotta get our little light switch in here. We can get this little menu board too. I always think that looks so cute in builds. Ooh, these hanging pots and pans. That might be nice. We should get this knife block too. Okay, I've grabbed so many things. The kitchen is kind of looking like a mess. So let me go ahead and place everything. All right, I have cluttered up the kitchen. It's looking nice and full. I do think that we need some kind of little rug in front of the sink. That's pretty basic. I think that that works. And with that, kitchen is done. Let's move into the living room now. I think I'm gonna copy the same blue wallpaper in the dining room. Now in this little front area, it's pretty grand, so I may go with a classic and grab a nice big piano. I'm gonna quickly throw together this little downstairs bathroom. We'll just grab a little sconce to go above the toilet, and then maybe like a tall plant in the corner is nice. And I think that that's that little bathroom done. I'm not doing anything fancy in there. For the living room, we definitely need a nice big rug. I don't know how I feel about this one in particular. There is just like a plain white swatch, so maybe we go for that. And then for a sofa, this light blue color is really pretty, and I know for a fact that we have a matching little chair. Let's get a cute little table right here in the corner. This one matches. Is that the same shade? Oh, I think that's the matching shade. Okay, I actually don't mind that, so let's use that. For a lamp, I'm gonna use one that we just got in the base game update, and thank goodness, because the lamp selection is pretty bleak. Just gonna get a really basic TV above the fireplace. I know that's so high up. For the coffee table, you know I would normally be putting my little candle that makes your Sims happy, but we don't have that. I think that I'm gonna go for these. See, the issue is I actually really like these candles, but are those not gigantic for the coffee table? Maybe I don't even care. For this little back corner, I think it'd be nice to get a little chest table or something. I'm also going to grab this little bookcase. It's really skinny, that's why I love it. And then maybe right here on the wall, we can just get a nice little picture situation on this little wall right underneath the window. I'll get something. Maybe we could look at activities. We could get a little fish tank. Fishes and tanks make me really sad, actually. But let's just ignore that for now because it's The Sims and it's okay. Maybe we could get this leafy plant next to it. I'm almost scared to look, but I feel like a little round rug underneath the piano would be kind of nice. That's actually not too bad. Maybe we could get a couple little sconces on the wall on either side. That looks pretty nice, I won't lie. At this point, I really am just kind of like digging through and pulling out anything that I think might work. Of course, we we have to get our little light switches in here. There would probably also be light switches by the back door to turn on the patio lights. This couch definitely needs pillows. Wow, that really does actually help so much. Let's head upstairs. I think I'm gonna put carpet in the bedrooms, maybe except for this one. This room I think is gonna be a little office, so maybe that room can have hardwood. I'm gonna pull together the bathrooms really quick and then I will be back. Okay, bathrooms are done. This is the primary. This is more of a kid's bathroom. You can see we've got dirty laundry on the ground. Let's start with the primary bedroom while we're at it. I already know that the bed situation is gonna be a massive disappointment. This plain one isn't too bad. I really got myself into a weird situation with these windows over here. Gonna use this dresser, and then maybe to offset it, we can get like a lamp or something in the corner. I need to pick a wallpaper in here. Maybe I'll go for something that's a little bit more neutral, a little bit more calming. This room is turning out so beige, but that's kind of the reality of the situation when you're using base game only. It's either that or fuchsia, you know? Okay, I have got to start looking at art. I know I use that lamp downstairs, but y'all, I'm running out of options. Okay, you know, I don't hate this. Maybe we can get some kind of rug in here. This rug kind of blends in, but it still breaks up the room a little bit, which I like. For some clutter on top of the dresser, I'm just gonna do this tiny little stack of books there, and we can get that little art print. All right, and this might be our sad beige primary room done. Let's move to this little room. I put down some navy carpet. I think this is gonna be a little toddler's room. We did get this cute little nightlight from the last login event. It is extremely tiny. Maybe we scratch that and get the cute little fox lamp instead, because the fox lamp never fails us. Let's get this adorable little chair right here. We can actually fit one of these nice big doll houses in the corner, which is super cute. Of course, we got to get a Blarfy, and then honestly, I'm just gonna put a bunch of toys on the ground. I put this little gingham wallpaper up, but honestly, I just remembered that we have all those decals. I just used some of them recently. I may want to try and fit some in here. Maybe not. I think I'm realizing that the decals that I super love are from Growing Together, so we're switching up that idea, but that is a-okay because we've got other cute little art that we can put in here. And I do in fact keep forgetting the little light switches. All right, that's that little kid's room done. Moving over to this room, I think I'm gonna try and decorate this for like a teen. I'm using this rustic set of furniture that's kind of got like the dings and marks. I normally wouldn't use this set, but maybe this teen has had this furniture passed down and now it's looking a little worse for wear, you know? I do want to get them like a nice desk in this little nook. Imagine how nice that would be to sit and do your homework and stare out the window. Okay, using that bright green chair because it actually kind of matches the bed. I'm giving them like a cute little love seat so that if they have friends over, they can sit and like hang out and chill in the room. It's kind of an antique-y one, but I'm starting to get the vibe that this teen is definitely into stuff like that. Okay, I'm actually so obsessed with how this in particular is turning out. Whoever this teen is that lives in this room is so cool because they're into like vintage furniture. They've got the cutest little gallery wall. I use this little bow thing here. We'll get another one of these really pretty mirrors up here on the dresser. I was considering putting up some posters on this wall, but I just really don't think that this sim would have that stuff. So I may just put up some of these little sketches. These are really pretty, so maybe this sim is into drawing or something like that. I'll actually give them a little digital sketch pad. I think that that's really cute. That way they can draw. All right, let's get one more nice plant up in here. I think that that is this sim's room done. Now we've got the office. We might as well use the ultra fancy desk. I don't think that this would be a very comfortable desk chair, but we're gonna use it. I'm putting the desk kind of on an angle because in this corner, I kind of want to have like two nice chairs See, I like this. This to me is fun because now you can have like cool meetings and stuff. I don't know. Maybe in this room we can use one of these. I think this is pretty in an office. And then do we even go for a rug? Oh, you know, that's kind of cute. I like how it brightens up the space a little bit. Let's get a fancy little lamp. And that is our upstairs done. So now we have to move on to the outside. For the little front porch, it may not be possible, but I'd kind of like to match this little brick situation that we have going on. See, that's not too bad of a match. I'd love to get a little grill on this porch. And then it might be nice to get a really big dining table. See, I love that. And then I feel like this wall is pretty blank. It needs something. The question is what? Maybe we could get a little hose hung up. Okay, hear me out, but I think I'm gonna use this little accent table. And then I'm gonna grab a couple just little potted plants and then have it look like it's a little area to do potting. Okay, that is actually really cute. I'm so pleased with how that turned out. I wish that there was just a little bit more variety for the wall, but it's not looking good. At the very least, we can get this cute little sun. It is officially time to break out the debug and the live edit. I think that I may scoot the whole lot forward ever so slightly because I do think it would be nice to have a pool. We really do only have the one pool trim, so that's fine. I don't know if I should just continue the same brick. You know, I'm gonna keep the brick, but instead we're gonna do this like herringbone brick so it feels a little bit more fancy. I'm gonna put our trash can back here. Luckily, we do have some pretty nice little pool loungers. I put in these cute little garden boxes, and then I also did this really pretty fountain. I think that now I'm just gonna try and fill in like shrubs and stuff around it. I like the really manicured look. I think it's really cool. All right, I'm cutting it a little close with these monkey bars. I actually don't know if they'll function or not. They may not, but I thought they looked kind of cute there. I suppose what I could do is delete all of this, and now this becomes just like a slightly bigger play area, which is kind of cute. I'm now gonna start just grabbing any bushes that look good. I know for sure I'm gonna want some of these ferns. I do have to give a very brief moment of appreciation that these daisies that I use in almost every single one of my builds are in fact base game. For a minute there, I didn't know and I could not remember. I would have been very upset if I wasn't able to use these. All right, let's grab a couple of trees. I don't know why I'm doing the trees last. Normally they're like the first thing that I place down when I'm doing landscaping. Ooh, maybe this little tree looks kind of cute in the front here. Maybe we could even get another one over here in this little corner. Okay, I deleted the tiniest little bit of this flooring back here so I could place one of these trees down. I don't have any lighting outside, so that's gonna be one of the last things I do before terrain paint. I don't really love these lamps, but they're not too bad, so I'm gonna go for them. And now it is officially time for terrain paint. I am just tapping this around everywhere, and then I'm gonna make my brush really tiny, and I'm just gonna do little dots right here around the monkey bars, and then a little bit of darkness just underneath where it looks like kids have fallen. And with that, I think we have completed our base game only build, and it is so pretty. I'm actually so impressed with how good it looks on the exterior. Like, this is beautiful. The backyard turned out so pretty. Let's do a little tour of the inside. So you walk in and you're immediately met with the dining room. I love how light and bright it is in here. You've got two ways to get to the living room. I love the giant piano, and I love how simple and clean everything looks. Back here is our little kitchen, and I just realized that we actually don't have a trash can, so let me just tuck that right there. The kitchen is really simple, but I'm actually impressed with how cluttered it is. When you head upstairs, this is the primary suite. It's nothing fancy, but it does have its own bathroom, which is pretty nice. Then right down the hall is a cute little toddler room. Oh, I need a toddler potty. Oh, there we go. And yes, I do put the toddler potties in their bedroom because if you've raised toddlers, you know it's just best to have it in the bedroom. This little room is very sweet though. I love all the toys on the ground. Then you come across the hall. This is our little office space. Then we've got a big hall bath for the kids. And then we've got this teens room that I surprisingly really love. In the backyard, we've got quite a bit going on actually. We've got a little monkey bar set. We've got a nice big pool and then a place to do some gardening, which is really sweet. Oh, and then a grill. Of course. I hope you enjoyed today's base game build. I actually had a lot of fun digging through some of the things that I've totally forget exist, but it's always a good reminder of the objects that we desperately need swatch updates on or just more options in general. If you enjoyed this video, then please do feel free to subscribe. I post videos every single week and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.